Welcome to Around the Reel with your hosts, Aaron Carlson, Charles Lawson, and Samantha Hanna. Gucci gang, Gucci gang, Gucci gang.
I don't know, but I'm j.horton.
And I make movies that make money.
This is how.
That's how you introduce this guy. That's how you fucking do it. j.horton.
Good? Did we do it justice?
Did we do it right?
Oh yeah, that was great.
Okay.
It took 18 hours for us to practice that.
I know, it's like
18 hours.
Do we say it all together or do we do it in parts? I want this part.
3, 2, 1.
I'm j.horton.
I make movies that make money.
This is how.
I didn't know we were supposed to all do it together.
good.
No, it's fine. I still love it.
Did you like that?
My directors in the room didn't give us any kind of leadership. They just said 1, 2, 3, go.
Yeah, because that's how we do it anyway.
That is how we
That's
do
how we
it.
make our fucking movies.
What do you want? Do you want me happy? Do you want me sad?
I
I need to know.
We do best when we don't know things. That's all I know.
Well, usually. That's when the best stuff happens.
No, I am totally disagreeing with that statement.
I know.
Are you?
100%.
Why? I love it.
Well, welcome to Around the Reel, everybody.
Good morning.
Good morning. And we have j.horton on here, filmmaker extraordinary. I love this guy so much.
Yeah.
Jay, thanks for joining us today, my friend.
Oh, thanks for having me, man. This is great.
Yeah, it is. It's really a treat to have you on the show. I've learned a lot about you over this last year. When did you start your YouTube?
Sounds like
And it was like, holy
I'm like,
shit.
oh man, I got to
I
check with
can't
bill
wait to hear
collectors.
this.
No, I'm just joking. I started the YouTube channel. I mean, I've had a YouTube channel for probably 10 years.
I think we all have. Yeah.
Yeah, but I only ever used it to upload trailers or, miscellaneous video clips here and there. I think I had like 100 subscribers, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And around, I don't know, January or February of 2019, or 20, sorry.
Yeah.
I decided to take it a little more seriously and do some of the filmmaking tutorial things.
Got it. And I think that's when I ran across one of your little posts
I'll
about
never
your
forget
show.
it.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it when
And
you
I'm
showed
like,
me.
I'm like, j.horton's a
You're
badass. I was like, I
check
love
this
this
guy out. He's the best.
I love his show, man. No, that's super fun. But you're giving everybody a lot of good information.
Yeah, I mean, my thing with it was, I've been making movies now about 20 years. And when I was starting out, you just couldn't find information out there about smaller budgeted projects, unless it was something like El Mariachi or Clerks, those lottery winning, movies.
Yeah,
right.
But there's this whole other industry out there of people that, the regular people, they're not household names, but they're working, they're making movies, they're making some money on them, but, they're not famous.
Right.
And there's just not much info about there. I mean, from taking what I learned in film school, I would think, well, you move to Hollywood, you convince somebody to give you $1 million, you go to Sundance, and then, you're off to the races, but that's not really how it is for most of us.
No, it's
No.
not.
No,
It isn't.
No.
not even a little.
Yeah.
No, I mean, that's why we need to talk to you, because you make movies that make money.
Yeah, no shit.
And we're broke.
Yeah.
Hey, we're not broke.
Hey, we're pretty broke.
Bunch
You
of
might
broke
not be,
motherfuckers.
but
Well,
I am.
Well, what's fun too is that, we've been making movies, Jay, for 20 plus years as well, but we haven't tried to put ourselves out there until 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah,
true
that's. I
story,
mean, literally,
yeah.
that's how
we just had the anniversary of our Outrider.
Yeah, the Outrider.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's great.
yeah, it's been out for a year now, and we did fairly well with it, but we'll get into that later because I got a lot of stuff I want to talk to you about distribution and stuff. However, it was one of those things where I'm like, we've got so much experience and so much we've learned, and we never went to film school or anything like that. My past is learning from like Film Riot and Rocket Jump and Andrew Kramer, Video Co-Pilot. I mean, these are the guys that kind of showed me there was ways you could make these films and do these things. And I kind of learned a little. I'm like Kevin Smith. I mean, I know what a camera is, but I don't understand all the shit that it does. And I don't know all the little gadgets, and I don't know all the stuff. I just I want it brighter. I want it darker.
Yeah.
I want it to look and frame it like this. That's the shot right there. What about the aperture? I'm like, I don't know what the fuck aperture means. That's the kind of filmmaker I am. But we've been learning more and more as time goes on. So seeing the amount of films you've made and the history you have, and you said you went to film school, which I didn't know. What got you into that in the beginning?
Well, I went to college kind of late. I was honestly, there's no nice way to put it. I was kind of a fuck up in my early 20s.
Same. Don't feel bad. We're all fuck ups.
20s.
I didn't even graduate high school. Like I was a mess. I was doing drugs. I was in a band. I was like just a mess.
Oh wow, I would have never imagined.
Yeah. Around I don't know. I think I was 22 or 23. I decided I'm going to get my act straight, and I moved to Louisiana, where my brother was living and worked offshore. He got me a job working on a boat, a utility boat, and I did that for about 2 years. Saved some money, took the GED, and then went to college, which was University in New Orleans, and they had a pretty strong film program there. So, dude,
that's badass. So good for you. Okay.
Like I always loved movies. I always knew I wanted to make movies, but I just, I'm from Indiana, and this was back in the, early mid 90s. And it just didn't seem like a feasible avenue. I had no way. I didn't know how to do it, unless, you get super lucky, like, Rodriguez or Tarantino or one of them. So, I decided I'll go to school, and I started studying there. And then upon graduation, I made my first movie, I think 2003.
Okay. That's where we just started kind of dicking around too in this. And what we had was, some of our movies.
They're great.
They're fun. It's fun as fuck.
They're fun to go back and watch.
It's fun as fuck. Okay, so
I can't even watch that first movie anymore. I honestly can't. Actually, I don't even think you can find it anymore unless you buy it on like DVD. It was called Rise of the Undead.
Okay.
Rise of the Undead.
We shot it on mini DV. It was released by York Entertainment. We made it for, I think it was $4,000, although there's some arguments between me and the other my partners about that. One of them says a little more, one of them says less. I think it was 4, whatever. But anyway, it was just you can't even find it. And when I delivered it to York, I didn't know anything about digibeta or anything. That they wanted a digibeta master.
Okay.
So we spent and we were broke college kids at the time. We paid for this movie like collectively, like 4 guys on our credit cards and Starbucks jobs.
Oh wow.
So. Anyway, we spent, I forget how much. It was like $500 or $600 to rent the deck, to export it out and figure it out. It was a catastrophe. It took us a few days. We had to keep re-renting it because we couldn't figure it out. Finally got it done, delivered it, give it to York Entertainment, and 3-4 months later when the movie comes out, I put in the DVD and I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is my fucking screener. They never even used the master. The screener, the original first play screener that I sent them to review the movie is what's out.
Oh
they
no!
didn't give a shit.
What in the world?
They're like, his master copy, it doesn't matter.
Right. At least it had audio. Aaron's first movie had no audio because he couldn't figure that out.
I couldn't.
It's called Silent Shadows.
I know, we changed the title of it. Yeah, I was like, couldn't figure out the fucking audio at all, man. But we started using like little camcorders, DV cameras. I mean, that's what we started with, and transferring the tape over to the computer via the FireWire cord, right? Yeah, and then
totally remember my first maybe 3 or 4 features were like that. I mean, actually, my last mini DV feature, I shot it a little late. Like HD was already becoming a thing. I think it was 2010. HD was already a thing,
right?
But I still had the SD camera, the Panasonic DVX 100, and I was like, I'm gonna. And I shot one last movie on it. Which is called Trap, which is it's still one of my favorite movies. I did a HD blow up of it to do a streaming release.
Oh, that's cool, man.
Year or 2 ago.
We could make you feel a lot better if we told you how long we shot with that one.
Oh gosh, I mean, literally, our budget on the Outrider, we spent a couple $1,000s to make the Outrider, and it was literally just buying a new camera. I mean, that was our budget. Totally. I mean, that was it. Right.
Totally.
Yeah. And parts. We got a mic.
Yeah, no, and you keep telling everybody it was $2,000. This is the whole thing where we argue because it was closer to 3, but that's okay.
Oh Jesus!
I mean, I've done plenty like that. I've done some bigger shows, but I've done plenty where it's just me and a camera.
Yeah, man.
Mike hooked up to it. I mean, that's pretty much how I'm doing documentaries right now.
Okay. That's something that we got to get into because
we want to talk about that.
Your business philosophy, and people don't know who J.Horton is. This guy, he makes movies that make money. We talked about that, but he actually he supports himself. he makes a living making films and content, and
it's
and
not
that's
easy to do.
no,
right
it's
now.
but it is
nowadays.
the dream.
It
right?
is the dream.
Fuck yeah,
You live in the dream.
yeah, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not, and I'm not a rich man. I don't live in a mansion. I have a decent house,
Yeah.
and I have a car, and I pay my bills, and
You
but-
eat once in a while. You eat some food too.
Yeah,
Well, then you're wrong. You are rich.
See,
I guess so.
no,
Yeah, so and I still I still have mountains of debt from I had a good 10 plus year struggle where I'd have a good year, but I'd also have really bad ones. I mean,
Yeah.
I took out so many loans in the like 2014, 15. I'm still dealing with.
yeah,
Yeah,
man.
but you're making an income and you're living.
Yes.
Yeah.
And see, and that's the possibilities.
Yeah.
And is it impossible? No, but is it tough work? Yes.
Yes, it's
And,
Oh yeah, it's very hard work, and
Yes.
I sometimes I think maybe even with the channel, sometimes I come off like, oh, you just do this, you make the movie fast and you put it out and blah blah blah, it's easy, you'll make money.
I don't
And
think
it's
you
not.
are. I think you're pretty real about it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I
you
do
are.
too. Yeah. There's optimism in your channel.
Yes.
You know,
which is there's nothing wrong with that
no, not at all.
because you encourage people to keep going and keep trying.
Correct.
Yeah.
But you don't give
Well,
off the impression that it's super easy at all. I mean, you don't.
Oh, good.
It's- Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Sometimes I worry about that.
no,
'cause
you don't.
And I really, and it's something I've been planning on talking about a little bit more because, in my, between 2003 when I started and 2016, I mean, there were some really tough periods. I mean, there were times when I couldn't pay rent. I was living on people's couches.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have food. I racked up all kinds of debt.
Jesus Christ, it sounds
but
like
us. I kept going.
Yeah.
And I was directing movies, like released features. People were hiring me to direct movies. But my main shtick with freelancing and being hired to do stuff is it's all great and it's gravy while it's working, while it's lasting. But then if you have a slow year or a slow 6 months, all of a sudden it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and you look at all these other filmmakers that you're working for that own these things.
Mm-hmm.
I worked for a company. I directed probably 10 movies for them, and I mean none of these are like multi-million-dollar making movies, but collectively these movies made millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And I basically made, if you would add up the time and the work in, I was basically making minimum wage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later, it's all gone.
Well,
I
and
don't
another
own
part of
any
that too is technology. It keeps going, and it's like every time you finish something, it feels like everything's all different. Now you got to go.
Well, shit changes.
You got to get better stuff and better equipment every time. So it's like it's hard to keep
Yeah.
up with that.
Not just the gear, but this. It seems like this industry in general changes so rapidly, especially now with COVID and everything. Which is bullshit. I want to make some movies, goddammit. But anyway, it's rugged little hustle that we got to figure out. And when we did our film, we went the DIY approach in 2019. I'm like, well, fuck it. We're going to put it up on Amazon Prime and we'll just do the thing. We got US and UK. Why not? Let's hit it. And we did fucking great, right? And we were talking to Henry.
Maybe because of COVID, because everybody was home.
That's
Yeah.
what we were thinking. It was like,
Everyone
it had
got
nothing to do with the
stuck
movie.
at home. They had nothing.
Everybody's
Yeah,
stuck at
yeah.
home with shit to watch. They've watched everything else good. They're finally to our movie. But no, it was one of those things where, going that approach and thinking about the amount of money that we did put in, it's like, okay, this will make a profit. We'll be okay. And it is our first feature put out there. We were smart. We kept costs low. All the things that we did. We hustled with what we had. And then we got on a little high there, like, holy shit, this movie's doing really good. Like, getting this viewership. And I'm, well, fuck, we got to get this out there. So then we do the switch over to FilmHub. And I know you know a lot about FilmHub as well. And I'm thinking, okay, we'll get it on there and then we can go worldwide, and then we're going to be badass and everything else. And you know what happened? Nobody's watched that shit since.
Yeah, not much.
No, it's gone because you got that like this window of like maybe 3 to 4
90 days.
months. Yeah. And then after that, it kind of just goes away. And it'll always be there, and it'll have a shelf life, but we got to keep making shit
Right.
to get
Yes.
people to go back and go and watch. Oh, yeah, I forgot that Outrider
and you
movie.
put it
Oh,
in
they
the
made this. And,
in the festival, so that helped it kind of bump.
well, yeah,
too,
I mean,
but-
you know, that's the thing about learning where we're at, Jay. It's, you know, this is our first rodeo now. I mean, we literally jumped in here and started riding this fucking bull. And I'm a black guy, so I'm going to get thrown anyway. So that's why I got a couple white homies with me to get my back.
I'm the ornery asshole who'll just get back on.
But, you know, I couldn't do this shit but without these guys because they keep me level-headed because I'm the guy that'll be the dreamer. You know, and I'm thinking that, you know, oh, this is going to blow up. This is going to be the one. I always have that hope, you know what I mean? That optimistic side. Even though I'm a realist, at the same time, I
You're not a realist.
I can't help but dream. No, when shit goes bad, though.
Dreaming is good.
Yeah, when shit goes bad, I'm like, well, yeah, I should have known. You know, I don't let it destroy me. That's what I mean by being a realist. But at the same time, that the delusional side of me is where these guys kind of pull me down. But I forgot where I was going with the point of the story.
You
I had a
down.
point.
We don't pull you down. We keep you grounded. Jesus Christ. Why are we doing this together? We keep you grounded, my friend.
I do think that delusional mindset. I do think you have to have at least a little bit of that to get into filmmaking at all.
Correct.
At all.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
because
you really
honestly, if I would have known what it actually was, you know, at 22, 23, I might have done something different.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love movies. I love my life. I can't see doing anything different, but I refuse to believe that there isn't something else that I might have enjoyed.
Sure.
I don't know, but yeah, I mean, I was delusional for, a good 10 I'd be sitting on somebody's couch, couldn't afford my rent that month. And I'd be thinking, oh, this movie is going to come out next month and I'm going to make $1 million.
Right.
And I had already made like 6 movies. So I should know better.
I know, right? But you can't help it.
That's Aaron.
You can't help it, man.
Well, I mean, we're going off that same premise. Everything that we do to make this movie is going to make that next movie we make that much better.
Right.
So that's the part of grounding that we try and keep with Aaron on. It's like, remember, whatever we're doing with this is so we can make this next one better.
Right.
That next one after that one better. The next one after that one better. So then save that script that you really want to blow up until we have all of our shit figured out.
Right. Exactly. But it's funny. If you go back to when we started, and I'm sure any filmmaker could say this, every project we've ever done got better. Even the ones that we just made with friends and family and just hanging out and showing people at Christmas time or whatever we did that was goofy and silly. They all production wise got better.
Sure.
Well,
Absolutely.
So you're right.
Yeah, they did get better. But we all definitely need each other
Fuck
for
yeah.
different reasons. I mean, Chuck and I keep Aaron kind of grounded because he dreams a lot and he's always in the clouds.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but they couldn't do this shit without me, bro. You know what I'm
And
saying?
then I got to keep these guys in line because
You know what I mean?
sometimes they kind of like cockfight, like guys do.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
I'm
cockfight.
just kidding. They
No,
don't.
It's
really,
not even
but-
fair. It wouldn't.
It's like a fucking lightsaber, man. Let me go.
It wouldn't even be a fair fight. Chuck
No,
would
it's
beat
like
me in a
literal
heartbeat.
cockfights.
Chuck would beat his ass.
Yeah,
so that is true.
Yeah, I'm half black and half white. There's no way I can compete. You've got
quit with the
you've got
black
like the
stuff.
dark saber, and I've got like Yoda's little thing.
Go Gru.
Grogu, no, Yoda. Grogu,
Go.
Grogu hasn't wielded a lightsaber yet. Did you watch Mandalorian, Jay?
Yeah.
That last episode?
Yeah, I just did.
Did you cry?
Holy shit!
I did. Yes.
He
You
bawled
see?
his eyes out.
You see what I'm saying?
I wasn't like
I mean,
Kevin Smith on
I didn't
Twitter
fall,
crying, but
I was a little
Aaron
misty
was.
on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did you feel it when the ship started flying in? I'm trying not to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it. When you see that one ship come flying in the background.
I kept
hit me.
thinking in the back of my head, I was like, they're pulling a switcheroo on us. It's going to be something else. It's going to be something else. Like until it actually really revealed the face, I didn't. I was still thinking like they're gonna pull a fast one.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I've seen it and I still am not 100% believe it.
I'm still not sure of what I saw, even though I saw it with my own eyes. I heard it with my own ears.
I was drinking a little bit. So
Oh,
I don't know,
bro.
Wait,
watching
didn't you just say you watched it this morning? What were you drinking?
I saw it.
No, it was I watched it. Actually, I watched it Friday morning.
Oh, gotcha.
And
See, he did too.
I wasn't drinking. I was just going for the cheap joke.
In this
Well,
room,
should
you
have been
never
drinking.
know.
It would have been fun.
Fucking badass show.
Sometimes
I
we're
love it.
drinking and it's early as hell.
I love what they did in there.
It's day drinking
It's day
It's
drinking.
coffee.
Okay, back to
with rum in it.
Not with me. I have no rum in this
Okay,
coffee.
Christian. It's rum and Aaron.
It's Chuck. Why do you always say my name wrong? It's Chuck.
Creepy Christian Chuck.
keeping us in track.
I'm just kidding.
So, the question I had that I wanted to really ask Jay about his business philosophy. That's where I was going, by the way.
Sure.
Earlier, was, when did you know, or how long did it take you at least to put together this idea of, okay, I gotta do my business this way, a plan, having that structured plan like you kind of do right now. You kind of have this meat and potatoes with your documentaries, right? Mm-hmm. And then you're still able to create these narratives that you enjoy making too. Yeah. How did that come to fruition? How did you come up with that plan?
So the seed of it has been with me for a while. Like I said, I was hired by two different groups of filmmakers, Jean-Claude Lamar, and then later the Garcia brothers. And I was directing movies for these guys. Okay. And both of these, separate entities, but they were both using a similar model. They were making very low budget movies between, some as cheap as $10,000, some as expensive as like $60,000. Okay. Very small. But they were making a lot of money on them, and they were making them fast. Like we would shoot them in, typically 5 days, but there's been some where we shot them in 1 day or 4 days. Wow. Like really fast. And I would edit them in 3 weeks sometimes. Okay. Like I remember we did this group of movies like in February, I forget what year. And like we shot 4 movies that month. And by April, 3 of them were out. By May, all 4. It was just like,
that is some hustling.
Yeah. And these guys, like, all of these movies were pre-sold. Like they both had separate deals with distributors. They would get so much money up front, and then, that would get paid back, and then they would split the rest on the back end. And I'm just watching this, and I'm like, and I'm watching how they're doing it. And after 3 or 4, I'm like, shit, I could totally do this myself. Right. But it took me a few more years to talk people into the money to get me to try. Mm-hmm. And then I did. And by the time I was producing for myself, like that market had kind of dried up a little bit. Like they were making a lot of their money on DVD and physical. Yeah. It was pre-streaming. And then, so, I tried it, and, and trying to raise money on my own, I could do one of these once every couple of years. So I think I did 2 on my own, and, I didn't do nearly as well as what they were doing because the market had shifted. Okay. And then I was like, I was doing freelance stuff. I was editing for Fox for a while. So I was making okay money, but very unhappy. Didn't want to do any of that. And I was talking to a producer, and I was like, man, my last 2 movies, they both, I wouldn't say failed, but they didn't do as well as I thought they would. I can't make a living like this. And I was making, I could make maybe 1 every 6 months. And he was like, have you ever thought about documentaries? And I was like, no, because I like watching them, but I have absolutely no interest as a filmmaker in doing a documentary.
Because
isn't that funny?
It just doesn't sound fun.
But
until you think about it, you got to think about it.
But you have a thing for them. I mean, that's your thing.
Yeah. Well, I stumbled into it. I mean, so he said that, and so like another year went by, and, I kept trying. I finally raised money for one last horror movie, called Death Day. Okay. And then I had a horrible release for that, which is a really long story. But, I decided, after that, I was like, I just don't know what to do. And I was like thinking about quitting, like doing something else. And then that documentary thing rang in my head. And I was like, maybe I should just try that. Like I have the camera, I have the sound, I can edit. So I knew a lady that owned a dog rescue in Vegas, and I'm a dog lover. So I was like, I'm going to go down there. I'm going to shoot her for 3 or 4 days. I'm going to shoot her friends, people talking about the thing. And I'm going to create this little like documentary for them. So cool. And so I made it, and I put it up, and it did not like do astronomical numbers, but I put it out on Amazon, UK, US, and it was doing like it was like 600 to 1,000 a month. Okay. In those first 3, which isn't huge money, but I'd spent nothing on it. It's been a couple of weeks, and I was like, okay, maybe this is a thing, but I still didn't know what was going to work in the market. So I just started coming up with ideas, stuff that I had access to, like I have an anxiety issue. So I did a documentary on anxiety, and I interviewed some of my friends about it. I did a filmmaking documentary, 3 or 4 others. Yeah. And
we love the one you just, with the boxing one.
I fucking love that.
Love the fighting,
I watched Why We Fight. I watched that last night.
That was so good. We loved that.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And again, like that one came. The really cool thing about documentaries, and I'm kind of jumping around, but
No, it's fine. That's our show.
That's how we do this.
Yeah, that is.
like
yeah.
you start on a subject. Like in the case of that one, we were doing a completely different documentary about women's pro wrestling.
Okay.
And we had this this lady, and we interviewed her, and she used to be in WWE. And it was a really good story. Got I think an hour and a half with her.
Okay.
And then we were starting to line up other ones. But while we were at that gym interviewing her, the lady, the guy that was training her is like engaged to this lady that owns her own gym on the other side of town called Bully Busters. And that was Keta that was in
the one that the
was
kid
in
that
the documentary.
Yeah.
And so we were like, yeah, let's go interview her. So we go to interview her, and we're thinking we're just going to do this thing kind of about bullying, because she has this like bullying story,
which is terrible.
So
it is
we
awful.
got into that, and then she introduced us to a couple more people, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, I know Kimber. Oh, geez, I just forgot her name.
That's okay.
Oh my gosh, she's gonna kill me.
It's
no.
okay. No, yeah,
We're
she can fight too.
And she
I
can.
know.
I mean,
Yeah, no, she's gonna
beat your ass.
Someone to fear.
Amberly.
There you go. Okay, you just saved your ass.
Yeah.
She was
And I
coming
I
like
know
the
her,
fucking.
so let's do one about fighting. So we did that, and then there's still another documentary on bullying that we're going to use.
Oh, cool.
Like I had her tell the bullying story more than once, so I'll repurpose it for another documentary.
Awesome. Can't wait for that.
See how
Yeah.
I love what he's talking about, because I was sitting there. Okay, so long story, but I'll make it super quick.
We've read your script.
Shut
That's
the
not going to
fuck up.
happen.
So I
You
can
got
do it.
nothing
So
is
this
super
is what
quick with you, but anyways.
Bullshit.
I almost made
prepare
j.horton
yourself.
spit.
Eat an ass. Here we go. So this is basically what happened. I wanted to make feature films. That's what I want to do. I like the big cinematic fucking. I want to blow shit up. I want to have fight scenes. I want to do this. I want to do that. It's going to be great. And these guys are like, okay, well, how are we going to make money off those? I'm like, because they're going to be badass. And then we take 8 months to make a movie, you know, and then we make, some dollars, but nothing major. And then we're like, okay, so yeah, maybe we should make those documentaries that Sam was trying to tell me I should be making
We have
for like
one
the
movie.
last 3 years that I just totally not listened to her.
One movie
I
took
did not
us 7
listen.
years. 7 years.
Yeah, bro.
Like the people had changed so much.
Yeah, I had to change the script, do a time jump in it, and all kinds of shit because we got grayer, and I got shaved my head. And,
7 years.
That's crazy.
yeah, but we took a break. Like we took a 5-year break from filmmaking.
We
'cause
shouldn't
didn't
have.
know
You
what
took
we
a
did.
break.
Well, I was going through some things.
Yeah, you were.
Life intervened.
Anyway,
Don't I know?
so I started to think about this documentary stuff because Sam was beating me over the head with it. And then all of a sudden I see that you're doing it. And I'm like, well, fucking J.Horton's doing it.
Yeah,
And then he's
honestly,
like, I'm making fucking great money off these documentaries, and that's my day job. And I'm like, well, now it made sense. And then I go, okay, so how do we do it? How do we script a documentary? And you're like, you don't do that. You just kind of get a topic and you go interview some fuckers and do some shit. And I'm like, okay.
Create the story behind it.
Yeah, and
not
see
in
what
front
folds
of
up. But that's what he just did. He was going to do a wrestling one, and then all of a sudden he got into this other one, and the whole thing changed. That's fucking, that's fun.
So you ended up with 2 or 3 topics from
the
wrestling.
one. Yeah.
Now, don't forget, you got to use the wrestler's interview for something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the pro wrestling one, which is the one we started on, it'll be the last one to get finished. Oh. It turned out with the pro wrestling one, like the interviews have all been great, but it's really hard to get pro wrestling B-roll.
Mm-hmm.
It's really hard. It's taken about 6 months to amass a decent amount.
Right.
So I should have that finished in the next few weeks.
Okay.
probably.
Okay, that's badass, dude.
Excuse Chuck, he
Where'd
just
you-
got a mouthful of coffee grounds, so he is going to go handle that situation right there.
Anyway, okay, well, I can talk
Like,
to Jay about
he was so offended by the pro wrestling.
Oh,
thing.
no,
He's
he-
like, I am
just
done
said,
with this. I am
"Fuck
done
him
with
out."
this. I am done with this podcast. I am out.
You all right over there, Chuck? Jesus
He
Christ.
just got a mouthful.
Coffee ground in the bottom of that.
All right.
Okay, anyway.
So,
I should have put liquor in it instead. Oh my gosh. I'm
see,
so
it would
sorry.
have done you favors.
For everybody watching at home, I'm so sorry. You just watched me take a drink and go, ah.
yeah, I'm using that clip, bro. I'm using that.
I just saw it. I was like, what the hell's wrong with you?
That's your trailer for the episode.
That should be the trailer. I was going to just ask him about his process for the docs, and I'm going a little technical here because I want to learn something from him.
Are you saying that to us? Like we're not going to understand what he's saying?
How
Are you
about-
saying we're stupid?
I'm
Aaron?
just saying, just in case you guys get lost, I wanted to make sure you knew why I was asking.
But we
questions.
need
This is
you
for
to
me.
stay quiet long enough so he can actually tell us about himself. So if that could happen, then
good
that
point.
could happen.
She always makes good points. She does.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great point.
She's
sorry.
smart and
So-
sassy.
So here you go. Okay, just real quick.
Oh.
He's got you get.
Nothing's real quick with you, shall I say again?
So he goes out and gets his footage. I want this for other filmmakers
Okay,
too,
so,
because
you want me,
I mean,
so
it's
you're asking about the process of making
just a little
documentary.
bit. Yeah, you don't have to give away any of your secret sauce or anything. I'm just saying, we've
There's
got.
no secrets. There's no secrets. I mean, I'll be straight honest. Like I'm not a super like you. I'm not a super adept. Technical adept's not the right word, but a technically knowledgeable filmmaker.
Okay.
I don't know cameras. I know my camera. I know the camera I want. That's about it.
Right.
Like I don't understand how camera sensors work.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Do you ever watch any of those YouTube videos about this new camera coming out and you got this white dude sitting at the desk and he's talking about all the specs on it and he's just spitting all this stuff and I'm watching it like,
It just
what the
sounds like
fuck?
gibberish. I don't care. I mean, I really don't care.
I know I don't either.
Aaron's like, that's my Chuck.
Yeah.
Like I want
that's what
to,
Chuck's for.
don't get me
That is
wrong.
what
I want a
Chuck's
good
for.
camera. I want a good image. I
Yeah.
understand like lenses and different lens sizes and how they affect your image. I get all that.
Yeah.
But like when people start going on and, arguing about, Red versus Alexa or, Premiere versus Final Cut or whatever it is, like I just tune out. I don't give a fuck.
I don't either.
Yeah.
I know. I'm here. Yeah. So here's the thing. So you've got these interviews, let's say, and now you come up with this story. So what's your next step? Do you go out? Do you use a lot of stock footage? Do you go shoot your own?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Tell us that process.
I'll take you through it.
Okay.
So first off, I come up with an idea, and my ideas, at first it was just whatever I was interested in, throwing stuff at the wall.
Okay.
And then after a little while, when you start to see how different things are performing, you start narrowing down on, stuff that you think is going to do better or stuff, so if I do 5 documentaries, 3 of them are going to be pretty much for the purpose of making money. One of them is going to be something that I just personally, I want to tell the story. I don't care if it makes money or not. And then the 5th one's kind of more of a bridge between the two, or building into a new, avenue.
Okay.
Like exploring a new avenue.
But the point is, you're trying to get an idea of what people want.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, or what they respond to, or
Right.
what they need.
Okay.
Like so like the dog rescue one. It was just a friend. I had no idea how it was going to do. But through the process of promoting that one, I realized that, not only did it do okay, but, that there was an audience I could target.
Right,
With
a niche.
documentaries, yeah, you have a specific niche, whether it's, dog rescue, you have, dog lovers, you have animal rescue people. If you do something on Bigfoot, I mean, if you ever go onto Facebook and just type in Bigfoot on the bar, you'll get like 100.
Yeah.
Groups, and these groups have thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands of members.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, wow. And like, I'm not a Bigfoot believer, but I'm like, I'm interested in the people that are,
Right.
and
scared of
the people I
Bigfoot.
interviewed, they're super passionate. So I was into it. So anyway, I'll come up with the idea, and then I'll reach out to some people and schedule some interviews.
Okay.
My interviews usually last somewhere between 45 minutes and 3 hours, depending on how many people I'm interviewing or how big the subject is.
Okay.
Like on the Bigfoot one, for example, we only had 2 main interviewees. So I interviewed them both for like 3 hours.
Okay.
But like we did a similar one on aliens where we interviewed 7 people, and all of those interviews were like under an hour.
Right.
So it just-
Gotcha. And what was that? Is that the one that it's Believe or something? I want to
Yeah.
believe. Okay. Yeah. I haven't
I
watched
want
that
to
one yet. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Continue.
And that's another one. We did it, and one of the guys just kept talking and talking and talking and talking, and kind of went on a different subject. And the other guy I was working with on it, he was like, we should just take his interview, just use a few little bits for this, and then just do a whole nother one with him.
With him.
So I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And it turned out to be one of my most financially successful documentaries.
Wow.
I'm saying?
So
How
what
it
he had
works?
to say was actually that was interesting enough to where it wasn't just like blah blah blah.
Totally. I
Wow.
mean, the thing is he's into astrology. Somebody that claims to have been, had contact with aliens, and then through that contact, he's able to predict the future.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
But anyway,
yeah, that's interesting.
He has a huge, and I didn't realize it, but he had a huge following.
Oh, wow.
Like when his movie came out, I mean, quicker than any other movie I ever had. Like within 2 weeks, we had like 100 user reviews on Amazon.
Holy
Wow.
shit! Yeah.
95% 5 stars. And I'm not
Nice.
shitting on the movie. I'm not saying it's a
Sure,
bad movie,
sure.
but it's not one of my technically better movies.
Right.
But,
But it just goes to show finding the niche
Yeah.
that
The
connects
niche,
to
yeah.
everybody.
And you really
It's so
don't know
important.
where.
It's so important, and sometimes it's not about necessarily what you believe is the absolute
Right.
best of whatever.
Of whatever you got to work
It's
with.
a lot to do
Yeah.
with just your interest, people's interest in what you're doing, and yeah, that's a
Right.
good point to
And
make
not-
because this
Yeah.
world is so tough with filmmakers.
Well, and you can apply this to, narrative films as well. But,
Yeah.
when you stop making the movies exclusively for yourself, when you're like, I'm just going to make this because this is a cool story I want to tell and I want to be famous or I want to make money.
Yeah.
When you start making the movie, and everybody says I have the audience in mind, blah, blah, blah. But when you really make that switch, when you really do have the audience in mind, it's kind of hard to fail.
I want to say that's
yeah.
great.
I mean, you're right, though. You have a really good point there.
What's funny is that he put that movie out not even thinking anything of it, and it blows up, and he's like, "What the fuck?" You know what I mean? That is fucking cool.
He's like, wait, I wasn't even trying my best.
Yes, that's exciting stuff, though. But that's how tricky everything is.
That's
We
how it
don't.
is.
It's
This was
such
my leftover
guesswork.
footage.
Yeah,
You just never know.
You got to be experimental, and just like he's doing with these lower end budget style films.
It's not about the budget,
and
though.
touching.
It's about
Well-
the content and what you're putting out there and what people are interested in. And when it comes to documentaries,
Sure.
especially, like, they kind of guide you.
Well,
you don't really, I mean, there's no script there. They guide you to where you go.
Well, depending on how much work he wants to do, those budgets are going to be super small because he's got everything already.
Well, what
that
does a
needs to do, and
documentary
that's what I
really
like.
take? I mean, what do you really got to
Go do some interviews if you're going to do it yourself. Now, if you're hiring somebody to go do it for you because you're caught up doing something else and you're just going to do the editing job or something, yeah, you have to pay them. But
Yeah, that's when you got the money.
it's a cheaper way to get, like what I think he's saying is that it's so inexpensive compared to doing features, and the
No, and
return can be so much more because you didn't invest so much in it financially.
Well, and right now documentaries are very popular. People love them. People are loving them now. So it's a good time to actually delve into that. Eventually, it'll probably get oversaturated and people will be over it.
Yeah.
So that will be no longer. But for now, documentaries are popular.
It's working. By the time we make ours, they'll be done.
Another thing.
That's exactly right. Kind of like by the time we started our podcast.
There's a million podcasts now. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. It never
Which
fails.
brings up a really good point about filmmaking in general is like anybody that thinks they're just going to do like this one lane, like this is going to be my lane, this is what I'm going to do. Maybe you'll get lucky. Maybe that'll work out for you, but most likely
Probably
you
not.
have to change and reinvent yourself over and over and over
Absolutely.
again.
Well, it's not just technology that's moving, but it's people and society. And so when society moves, they move their interests. Now they're interested in this. Now this is hot. Now that's hot. Now this is hot. So you just kind of got to get lucky, to be honest, because there's no way to tell like what's going to be popular at what time.
Yeah, no, I don't think, and I talk a little bit about picking genres or picking popular genres, but chasing trends like it never works.
It's pointless.
and it's
pointless.
pointless, and it's the one of the least effective. You can get lucky sometimes, but for the most part, if you don't think of it like sometimes I'll phrase it as chasing the genre or whatever, but really it's about chasing like an audience or figuring out what an audience cares about.
Yeah.
Right.
Which you can never predict because you have no idea what's going to hit. All of a sudden something comes up and it's popular and you're like, what?
Yeah.
Well, and that's the other thing too, is if you're going to trace a trend, you have to be able to put out something that week to keep up with that trend. Otherwise,
Literally,
you're just
because
stuck.
trends change so often.
But
so
it's
fast.
funny that you said something about genre, though, because I want to jump actually into your feature films for a second, if we get segue that way, because Aaron is a
do it.
supernatural writer. Where no matter what he ends up writing, it has a supernatural element in it.
Always.
And I couldn't help but notice.
supernatural stuff.
Yeah. It's
I
good
couldn't.
shit.
Yeah, I couldn't help but notice that from say Monsters in the Woods all the way through Death Day, you got a thing both issues with the devil and demons.
That's smart. Yeah,
and women.
Are you scared of those three things?
No,
Who's the blonde in your life you hate?
No.
There isn't one. The funny thing is I took this kind of 90s male attitude in my writing, especially my early writing, where it was like I was trying so hard to treat women equally that I would sometimes, like, I would go to, I forget who I read an interview, I want to say Tarantino, but I don't think it was Tarantino, and he was talking about how like they had made a movie and they were treating the woman in it like they were just putting all of this physical violence and stuff onto her because they were trying to say that, look, we do it to everybody.
Yeah. Okay.
And I initially, that was my, like, Monsters in the Woods. Monsters in the Woods was, I mean, looking back at it now, I'm kind of like, oh man, but it wasn't conscious, and I try not to do that anymore.
But it's still fun. I mean, but that's that learning experience you do. That's good.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What
I was just saying, don't get me wrong. I love seeing a woman covered in blood, and if I could just take a bucket of blood and throw it at her, that'd be fun.
Chuck's that guy.
Yeah. But
He's
also,
creepy Chuck.
Can I ask you a behind the creator question, if you're comfortable with it, about Monsters in the Woods? Mm-hmm. Did you intend for the hell hole to look like something specific, or was that unintentional?
Yeah, it was on purpose.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
Again, there was no like I was trying to make a thematic statement. I wasn't. I just thought it was funny. I was like, I'm going to make this gateway to hell, and it's going to be a vagina. And
right.
I thought it was. It never occurred to me like vaginas are evil.
Right.
It definitely
they can be evil. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
Once you walk through that sucker.
I forget who
have
reviewed
teeth.
it. There was one of the horror sites reviewed it, and it was the only review that picked up on that, and it just roasted me for it.
Dude, it's fun though. See, that's one of those things.
It's fine. Like looking at it now, I probably still would have kept that, but I would have made it more implicit that wasn't my intent.
Sure.
That kind of brings up something else.
That pussies are evil.
Because, no, not that. Excuse me, Aaron. Do you ever want any ever for the rest of your life?
Oh, I'm sorry. I better.
Yeah,
keep my
you better
mouth
be
shut.
sorry and shut up.
Pussies are heaven.
I'm trying to talk right now.
You have a heavenly pussy.
Shut up while you're still ahead. So anyway, I'm talking to Jay right now. Excuse me, please.
Yep.
Okay. So I want that brings up something else, and now I forget where I was going with that. Thanks, Aaron, you asshole.
I am so sorry. Give it a second.
Good.
You'll get it back. We'll get it back. We'll get it back. That's okay.
Oh God, that was rude.
I didn't even know I interrupted you that bad.
You totally did. You made me forget what I was doing. Well, let's just play a game.
So,
You want to play a game, Jay?
Let's take a break and play a game with Jay.
You want to play a game?
Sure.
Let's play a game.
All right, let's play a game. What are we going to play?
We're going to play Urban Dictionary game.
Urban Dictionary game.
You know what?
Yo, mama, you want to play the Urban Dictionary game?
You know what you're getting yourself into?
No? You already agreed to it, so let's do it.
I'm pretty. Let's give it a try.
Okay. That's absolutely the best.
He's a filmmaker. He's worth
ever.
to try something once.
All right. Let's do this.
Okay. So I say something from the Urban Dictionary, and you try to guess what it could possibly mean. It's super easy. Okay, you good with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go.
So we're gonna go 14th century English history with this one.
What?
Yeah, we're not messing around.
Okay.
What is beyond the pale?
Beyond the pale.
Beyond
What's that mean?
the pale. What does that mean in the Urban Dictionary? What is the definition?
Out of the ordinary.
Oh,
Good
no,
get.
good
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Yeah, that is very good.
I would say another term for black people. On the pale.
I should have just said what I was thinking in my head, which is before he started to talk, no one cares, Aaron. Anyway,
Okay, next.
Chuck.
That was a great answer.
I was actually thinking the opposite of that. I was thinking that's what Aaron thinks of me because, like, fuck white guy, you're just like beyond the pale. You're whiter than white.
Great answer too. Did anybody get it right?
Nobody. If I was to say who was closest, it would be Jay.
Okay, great. Way
It
to go,
actually
Jay.
means to go outside of the rules and the boundaries.
Oh, okay. Beyond the pale.
Beyond the pale.
All right.
Makes sense, right?
That makes sense.
Sounds
So
about
that's
right
an
for all.
old school Urban Dictionary term.
Wow. I never heard of that.
Old school being like what, 5 years ago?
Did I not say 14th century?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Old school.
All right.
Okay.
So anyway.
Got one more?
Yeah, of course I do.
Okay, let's do it. One more.
She has
I'm
a
the
book
Urban
full of.
Dictionary queen. I got tons.
One more.
Let's do this one. Lumberjack. And it's not the lumberjack that you all think it is, so don't say that. But what would lumberjack be from the Urban Dictionary? Got a guess, Jay?
Is that a sex thing? I don't.
That's whatever you want to guess.
It's from the Urban Dictionary, so it's about 75%
Could
yes.
be.
I have no idea.
Lumberjack from the Urban Dictionary.
No one's got a guess? You got a guess,
I
Chuck?
don't- I
let's
usually
hear
go
yours.
last. I'm
Go for
sorry.
it, Chuck. No, I'm
you
still
get
thinking.
to go first. I should always make you go first.
A lumberjack is how do I say this to be? Oh, fuck PC.
Just say it.
It is a white girl who climbs on a very large black man.
Jesus.
I can't drink my coffee.
You shouldn't because you'll get a mouthful of,
Blackness.
Yeah.
Oh, grounds.
Chuck, oh my God, Chuck.
Oh, my Lord.
Do you have one?
Go ahead, top that, you two.
I
Top
don't
that,
know.
you guys.
Lumberjack.
You got nothing.
God damn, I don't. I have nothing on this one. Just for
You got
fuck's
anything,
sakes.
Jay? You got any guesses?
You guys are creative.
I
Come on,
really
come up with
don't.
something.
Okay, so
I
a lumberjack is a girl who's so disgusting she cuts down your wood.
Oh. Okay, that's clever. Wow.
I like my
Sorry.
answer
All right.
better.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay.
Actually, Chuck, your answer was way better.
Yeah, but
Like we
lumberjack.
laughed for a long time about that one.
Lumberjack.
Yeah.
That's
And
good
don't
stuff.
call me a lumberjack,
I won't.
or I will kill you.
No, you're heavenly. Like
Me-
I said
Not a
earlier, you're fine.
lumberjack.
You're-
Meanwhile, Jay on the other side is going, I got to listen to some of these shows before I agree to go on.
Yeah, no shit. He's just- Jay's like, what the fuck?
What did I get myself into? Oh,
Okay.
my goodness.
Well, thanks for the game, Sam.
Yeah.
Urban
you're
Dictionary
welcome.
game.
It was distracting me from being mad at you for
No, I
making me
didn't.
forget what I was going to say.
I'm sure you're going to figure it out. It'll come back to you.
I'll still be mad at you all day. But anyway.
Oh, good. We only have 2 other shows and an interview to do. So
Yeah,
this will be great.
fine, we're fine. So, marketing, Jay.
Yes.
So you've got your docs, you've got your films, you do all this hustling. When did you come up with the idea, and how did you come about doing your own self-marketing?
Well, I mean, honestly, I've kind of always done it. Even back in the day when I was making movies for other people, most of the distributors usually do is, one sheets. They just put the movies out. Unless it's on a a larger scale, you almost always, as a filmmaker, have to kind of self-promote. But really, it's just been in the last couple of years where I've kind of embraced it more. I would say I fought it really hard early. As I just want to make the movies. I don't want to promote them. That's somebody else's job. I want to be a filmmaker.
Okay.
And I still have a piece of that, but it's just not the world we're living in now. You have to learn how to market if you're going to be a filmmaker. You have to.
You have to do it. Do you have a specific scripted release time for each and every post you do, or is it kind of a random thing where you're like, oh, I can just feel it? Because I kind of go off my feelings. You know what I mean? I think I should do something today. I need to do something today.
I would say it's a mix between the two. So when I release a movie, I have a 90-day plan.
Okay.
That's pretty much the same for every movie. Some not, but for the most part, so I'll post so many times on social media every day for that movie across the different platforms. I'll do, so many videos, so many text posts, so many, poster pics or different, stills from the movie. And I'll schedule those out with a social media scheduler.
Okay.
Most of it ahead of time.
Okay.
So I'll create all the assets, a shit ton of assets.
Right.
And I'll spend 1 or 2 days scheduling those assets for those 90 days.
Okay.
And then I'll organically do other things within that 90 days to help support it, like kind of what you're talking about, like going by a feel.
Right.
So,
So
I know I have a base of all my regular shit going out, and then I can adjust that based on how people are reacting.
Got it. Okay.
Do you kind of use your budget for like, say, things you're not as comfortable with, like some kind of marketing, or like, does your budget go towards things that you're not, or you don't feel as comfortable with?
So
Question.
It depends on the project. I
Okay.
mean, there are some documentaries that I do where I do everything. I do the posters, I do the trailers, I do all the marketing.
So
but
you pretty
like,
much know how to do most things.
I can do it all, but like I'm not, like I wouldn't consider myself to be a professional graphic designer. Like depending on the project, sometimes I can rip out a really good poster, but it's almost kind of luck, because
No, I hear you.
I can never count on it.
Yeah.
So like I did one for I think it was the town that loves Bigfoot, and it just came out really well. I think it's one of the best posters of anything I've ever put out. But it was dumb luck. I just caught this still and I saw it and I was like, oh, that would be a good image, and put it together.
Well,
but I've done others.
we were really
Cool.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
no. You go.
Okay.
Finish.
I was going to say I've done others where I've tried to craft it and it just doesn't come out, and then I go to a graphic artist.
Oh, okay.
So I almost always at least try to do it myself first,
Yeah.
because again, on these documentaries, the more expensive they are, the more you're spending, the less you're going to make. And some
Right.
of them, like I said, I'm doing okay, but I have some that, they don't do great. They do a couple $100 a month or less.
Right.
But
and
still,
like
that's still an income. It's still something that it's
Yeah.
pulling in, so it's still
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
We
Yeah, but
loved personally your intro to
Why We Fight.
yeah
I fucking love that.
that intro.
Oh, the After Effects thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, just
okay.
amazing.
Well, yeah.
It was good. Did you do that yourself?
I did.
Yeah.
But so this is the way I learned After Effects, because I'm not a real graphic designer. So I started downloading templates on video blocks or story blocks. I guess
Story
it's called
blocks,
now.
I believe it is.
Yeah. And I just started playing with them, and I and for the longest time, all of my title sequences were basically just those templates.
Right.
But
So good though.
But I would start. You're switching out the pictures, you're switching out the font, you're starting to change things, and little by little, you kind of realize how it works.
Yep.
So I can kind of create them from scratch, but they do kind of all start looking like the templates that I learned on.
Right.
But
Possibly,
so it's
but
limiting, but
Only
it's
a
cool.
limited amount of people know that though.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
That
The
is true.
average audience doesn't
Yeah,
know.
no,
And
the
also,
average one doesn't.
even if you're just using the straight templates, but you're putting in your own pictures and your own fonts,
It's
it
still
already
yours.
looks different.
It's
And it
still
looks
yours.
different.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they put them
And
out there for.
I guess an argument could be made too that you're creating a brand identity.
Sure.
So I guess you know what, that's what I'll say. I'm creating a brand identity.
I like that word.
So I keep them similar.
Well, everyone has their strengths and their weaknesses, and that's what you find out along the way is what you're good
Yeah.
at and what you're
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
And
And it's a time thing too.
Well, as the movies make more money too, I think it's important to like reinvest the money into your business. So I cut a decent trailer, but trailer cutting is an art all on its own.
It
so
is.
Yeah.
As I make more profit from these, I go to if I have one on a project and I think the project has good potential market value, I'll be like, okay, I'll pay $1,000 for somebody to cut a trailer.
Right.
well, and a trailer can sell a movie like
Right.
crazy. I don't know how
Yes.
many movies you've seen, I've seen, we've all seen that we watch
Yep.
a trailer for and we're like, yes, this is going to be so good.
Oh, jack shit.
It was like not that good.
Yeah.
But the trailer, but I mean, so many people watched it and it was a really popular movie because just of the trailer, like that alone. That's an Urban Dictionary word, trailer fraud.
Trailer fraud?
Yeah, when a trailer does not do a movie
Justice?
and- yes, when it does not.
a good one.
When it doesn't
Yeah.
do the movie.
I get it. Well,
Right.
you've got
It's better than the movie.
Trailer fraud. Yeah, it's better than the movie. That's
Well,
called
you've
trailer
got
fraud.
yeah, you've got two pieces there that are vital that I think a lot of filmmakers need to remember, like the poster, the artwork,
Yeah.
your one sheet, and then that fucking trailer.
It shows you how
gotta
important
have
that
those two
stuff
things.
is, and
Yeah.
it really,
Yeah.
really is. Like,
It
and
is.
for me, with you, Jay, it was the that whole beginning that you had. It wasn't it was that, yeah.
Yeah,
It was the.
it made it pop. You don't.
It
You know what?
did make it
You know what
pop,
I
and
liked
it
about
made me
it?
want to watch it really
Exactly.
bad.
I didn't expect the documentary to
intro.
start like a fucking epic cinematic like. Boom!
Like, no shit, like the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
music.
And I'm like, okay, this is badass. I was ready. Like, give me
exciting.
goosebumps. And then
was
it
exciting.
just pulled me right in within the first
that's
60
great.
seconds. So that's an applaud
yeah,
to you.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's
Oh,
how
I
I
hear that.
yeah, I like to see stuff like that. You
Yeah,
know,
because-
and if we do documentaries, our intro is going to be badass.
Yeah.
That's how I'm
Because
thinking.
of you.
Well, but at the same time, it should also play on the documentary itself.
Well, yeah, and it
Because
did.
if it's
Yeah.
because like I unfortunately
Dude,
I didn't
come
get
on.
a chance to watch that one because I was watching everything back from Monsters in the Woods to Death Day, and then I
Yeah.
started watching the Bigfoot one, so I didn't get a chance to watch. And then you hear this morning, they're like, "Did you watch this one?"
Yeah,
Well,
that's a
he's
good one.
going to go watch it now
sorry.
because we're like, oh my God, that was so
Oh, it's
cool.
badass.
But yeah,
see,
but the music has to match the content.
oh,
of what's
bullshit,
done.
because I could make a fucking documentary about turtles and make them badass. You know what I mean? You can do it. You just got to be.
I don't
Dude,
know. I got to think about
actually have a
turtles.
Turtles.
documentary.
You ever-
I have a turtle documentary. I haven't put. I haven't,
Oh, you
I
do?
haven't, I haven't shot the interviews for it yet, but so I'll tell you the story real quick.
Okay.
So I'm from Fort Wayne, Indiana. There's a little town about 25 minutes from Fort Wayne called Cherubusco. It's also known as Turtle Town
Okay.
because they have this myth, like a Loch Ness monster type myth about a giant turtle that lives in this lake,
Oh,
and
that's
people
badass.
have spotted
awesome.
it. They have a festival every year, and it's like a big deal. Like people from all over come to this festival.
Oh, wow.
That's beautiful.
I remember
It's like local legend stuff.
Yeah.
local legend stuff.
Awesome.
And I remember years ago, I was doing community service, and I was doing it for a public access station, and there was a guy there that was planning a documentary on it, and he died, never did it. But it always stuck in my head. And then when I started doing documentaries last year, I was like, I have got to get down there and do that documentary. I'm
It's
just
like
waiting
ours.
for the next festival that's not canceled for
Right.
COVID.
Yeah.
Right.
That's like our documentary that we're thinking about doing. It's
Well,
our
that
like
we're
local.
actually working on.
We are working on it. Yes,
I was going to say, what the hell have we been doing for the last couple of weeks?
You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
I mean, we have a legend like that in our area, the
Mm-hmm.
Pacific Northwest, and it's the octopus, the Pacific
Oh, cool.
Northwest, giant octopus.
Right.
So, we were, same thing, but it's local legends are amazing. They're cool. They're always good stories.
Yeah. It's super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just since moving to Georgia, I just ran into a professor out here because I was talking to him to try to fill out interviews on this Bigfoot thing that I'm doing, and he was talking about I can't really say what he was talking about, but it's a true crime thing.
Okay.
And something that's ongoing. And
Gotcha.
like he's writing a book on it, and I'm going to do a documentary on it.
Oh, cool.
That's fucking
That's
brilliant.
really cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
But sometimes opportunities just present itself. You
Right.
just go do it.
Right. We're kind of dealing with the same stuff with our documentaries and trying to think about things to do and what to do, but it kind of falls at you.
Yeah. And then somebody just walks up and says, "Hell, here, look at this. You want
Yeah.
to do something about this?" Yeah,
Thanks.
Yeah, I know. Here, read my book, and it's just like, what? Okay.
And my major piece of advice when you go out to like interview people, like
Yeah,
especially people who are, expert on the subject or whatever, get them talking about things outside of it.
Okay.
Like anything that's even
Okay.
slightly connected, because you never know. It
What
takes
else?
and it takes an extra 20 minutes, but you might be able to use that piece in something.
Yeah.
2
Later.
months down the road.
That is
or it might
great
be something
advice.
else.
That is
Yeah.
super good
Jay
advice.
knows what he's
Thank you very much for that.
So, dude, if you see one of our documentaries come out this year, you're going to be like, I'm proud of those guys. We made one.
Yeah.
Well, you should
Yeah,
be.
babies
You
all
should
grows
be
up.
because you
It's
have,
inspiring, isn't it?
Yeah, you've inspired us in
Yeah.
so many ways when it comes to that, and
Yeah.
to go forward with that.
Well, and it's a funny little concept that we have here because Sam gives Aaron brilliant little tidbits of advice over the years. And it's not until he sees somebody else who's also doing it and puts it into an application that
you,
then
Tucker.
she seems intelligent enough to follow that.
Jay, there's a flip side to this coin, my
Don't
friend.
listen to Aaron.
So you
Chuck's
flip that fucker
absolutely
over,
right.
and I'm the one that keeps reminding her that this can be done. And that you can make a living and you can put yourself out there, and you got to be strong and you got to be faithful to what you believe in and keep having a great time doing it. And you're like, this isn't going to fucking work. This is bullshit. We ain't seen no money yet, motherfucker.
It's because we don't have
You know,
any,
and I'm
that's 'cause
trying.
we don't have anything to sell.
But we
Because I
had
live in the real today's.
Henrique on the show last week. Kuto.
Oh yeah, I love him.
He's a
Yeah,
great
he's
guy.
awesome.
Yeah, he was on the show last week, and he says the same fucking thing that I've been telling Sam. And Sam's like, "Oh yeah, I get it. That's great."
Well, I don't listen. I don't listen to you, Aaron, because
She's got husband ears.
well, no, because you're full of shit half the time, so I don't listen.
Well, see, I actually hear Sam. I just honestly said I get documentaries could probably make money, but I don't want to do that right now. I want to do these cool movies.
I'm not trying to be rude, but when you're a dreamer, you're a dreamer.
I know that.
Like literally a dreamer.
I
So
get it.
there's only so much of your words
Yeah,
that
I
I
get it.
can like be like, oh, reality could actually happen there, maybe, possibly.
Oh my god!
So, Jay, if you ever want to have us on one of your shows, please feel free to.
Yeah, man, let's
this
do
is.
this.
We could have all kinds
All day
of-
long.
No.
Jay, how many movies you made, man? Total documentaries, narratives, complete. What's your dog doing now, Chuck?
I think Amber's back. on
What's
the
that?
microphone.
Oh, sorry, we got a dog barking. in the
Chuck's
background.
dog is having a
I thought you were
coronary.
asking me. I was like, I don't have a dog.
No, it's Chuck's dog.
Jay, what's coming up behind you?
I was
No.
like, wait a minute.
I was just asking, how many movies have you made total in your career? Do you have any idea?
I'm not being glib. I honestly don't know.
Oh, okay.
I would have to look at IMDb. I think I've directed like 20 or 30.
Wow, good job.
I've edited around 50 and I've produced, I think I'm closing on 50.
God damn, man. You put a lot of stuff out there. You hammer
Yeah.
them out. Good for you. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love
And
that
there's,
work
like,
ethic.
I think there's been probably 20 documentaries in the last 13 months.
Yeah. What's your average time to put one together, one of the docs you do?
I would say on average now it's taking me about a month because I'm spending a little more time now that I've got it figured out. And, but initially, from get to end, maybe 2-3 weeks.
Damn, man.
Like
That's
I was
crazy.
finishing. There was a couple of months where I finished like 3.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So like
Okay.
I can edit. So like if I have it laid out, I can pretty much edit one like if nose to the gun to my head.
Yeah, and just wake up in the morning and start grinding away at it.
Maybe 3 days.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
if I have to.
I'm right with you on
but-
that.
Yeah. But like I said, like like Don't Call Me Bigfoot, I spent almost a month on that. The Town That Was Bigfoot, I spent almost 2 months on that.
Right.
But there's like the fighting one, which turned out really well. But
Mm-hmm.
I'd say like maybe a week of post on that.
Yeah. Great work.
Like,
That's excellent.
I slapped it together.
Yeah.
And when you get such good interviews too, it's easier to flow. You don't have to butcher them apart when you have somebody
Yeah,
you can talk to and something that's
Oh,
worth looking at.
totally.
Yeah.
In the interview
Totally.
itself.
Correct.
Yeah. And I
Correct.
also, another little trick as far as editing them fast. So when I first lay that interview out on the timeline, the big, long, uncut interview, I color correct it.
Yes.
Like right at the start.
Absolutely.
Like, I fix it. I fix the sound on it. I put whatever filter I'm going to put on the sound. I normalize everything.
Yep.
I take it a little farther than most do. And then
Then you start
Then
chopping it up.
I start chopping it up.
I'm with you. That's what I would do too.
And as far as docs, like I don't get real heavy into the like a specific color correction look.
Okay.
So like I'll just get a nice match all the way through, and then I'll do a grade on top of it.
Gotcha. Perfect. Okay. All right. Yeah. I know his language. I know what's going on here, guys.
This is
All
the
right,
language
just
you
trust me.
speak.
I got
I
it.
remembered what you made me forget.
Oh, good. What was it?
Okay, so we love your reenactments of
thank you.
your.
Yes.
We love them. So that's where I wanted to go because
Yes.
you take your constructive criticism, if you will, so well, and you make it so funny what people say, the things that people
it's the best
say.
shit ever.
We love that.
Yeah. It's fun.
I did, when I first started doing those, I was really nervous about it. It's like I said, I'm an anxious person.
Because you get
So I was
maybe
like,
piss people off or something.
That's what I was afraid of.
Yeah.
Well,
Or
they're
I was
already
afraid
pissed if
I was going to look too smug.
Yeah.
Like I was worried, and sometimes I do, but
No.
I try to play it like
It's
that. But
funny.
yeah, I love doing those things. I
It's
just
so
the one I
funny.
did a couple of weeks ago, I still look at it. The funny thing about the YouTube thing is, and I'm not making anywhere close to the money I do off the documentaries, but I really like the YouTube thing. Like
Do you really?
I never thought I would.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like people had told me for years, like, "Oh, you should do a YouTube thing. You'd be good at it." And I'm like, I do that. I don't know. I'm maybe a filmmaker.
Right.
And, it's not filmmaking.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
but
that isn't.
so I started doing it, and I started doing it honestly, 100% honestly. I was doing it to push my documentary.
Sure, man.
I was like, I'll get a few more eyeballs on my stuff with this, and
Right.
I'll do one a month. And I started doing it and getting feedback. I was like, oh, this is cool. But now, like as far as like, artistic pleasure, I get more pleasure putting together, a 5-minute YouTube video than I do a feature.
Well, and it shows
Yeah.
because they're fun, and that's where we first saw you isn't it, Aaron? For
Right.
the first time, that's when you showed me.
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
Check this guy out.
Yeah,
That was
one of his
YouTube.
first YouTube posts that he made that he threw like, I think it was probably Facebook. I saw it up and I'm like, oh, who's this guy? And I clicked on it and I watched your whole video. I'm like, oh, I love him. I love what he's got to say.
Well, I'm j.horton.
Yeah, I mean movies that make money. This is awesome.
That's why we know that so well, because we actually watch that.
Yeah.
I was so when I first started getting serious about it, I started watching all these like how to build your YouTube. So I'm watching all these like big YouTubers that do like,
Yeah.
this is how you build a YouTube channel. And one of the guys, I think is Brian G. Johnson. He I forget what his catchphrase is, but it's something similar.
Okay.
And he kept talking about how you got to have a little thing, and I was like, I need a phrase. If you watch the very first ones, it kind of morphed.
Okay.
I think it took 3 or 4 to get to there. But
Got it.
It's so awesome, though. We love it.
I love him to death.
We love
Yeah,
it so much.
Yeah,
it's so perfect.
It's cheeseball, but it
It
you
works.
know,
It's
I-
good.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
good. It's
I like
character.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
character.
Do you have your cell phone with you right now?
I do.
Go to your IMDb and pick one of your movies if you can.
Oh, here. I'll do it online.
Okay, cool.
Okay, yeah, do
you
it
guys
there.
do the same thing.
Okay.
Do the
We're-
same thing.
What are we doing?
Go
We're
go
picking-
to the Outrider on
okay,
IMDb.
picking our movie.
I'm thinking we should take our worst review or grab a shitty review that someone put on your movie and let's reenact it.
Oh, okay. That sounds fun. Okay.
Re-enactments.
That sounds
So-
like a lot of fun. I'm doing it.
I would love it.
But don't
I
pick
should've looked.
Oh,
mine.
What?
Don't pick mine.
Pick what? Yours? You
The
put a
one-
bad review up?
You said I'm going to pick the worst one. You said pick the worst one. Don't pick the one I pick.
Okay, well, you just go. I'll find one that isn't the one. Trust me, we got enough bad reviews.
Oh,
we're
we've
not
had
going to run
plenty.
out of them.
Yeah, there's no shortage, I guess.
Hey, but you know what? That last Chris Hemsworth still has more worse reviews than us.
I
What?
know.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you
know.
counting?
Oh, I don't count our reviews. I don't even look at our reviews.
I don't either because I'll cry.
Well,
I don't.
Yeah, but
I'm
this
a
is healthy
baby.
for you because it can be fun.
But Jay's really good at it.
Because
so
some people
I'm gonna
do
try
not
to
fuck
take some
around with
hints.
reviews. Look at
They
this, how
don't.
long that is.
They're so
Jesus
mean.
I'm
Christ.
looking,
They're so
I'm
mean.
looking for a specific one.
Oh, are you?
It's
You're like, I
it's on
want.
it's on my Amazon.
Is it your favorite one? Is it your favorite bad one?
It's one of them.
good.
This guy. Oh man, they were saying I was going to go to hell or something.
Oh,
Right? Yeah.
Is it because of the vagina hole?
No, this is for death.
Because that's a hell I wouldn't mind going to.
no, because it was about the devil.
Right.
Oh,
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
yeah.
Well, that's-
damn
yeah.
Christians getting in there and giving their opinion.
Well, when you put religion and politics into anything, it gets messy. Just saying.
So thick. Look at this. And you know what? What's weird is it's still we've got these anonymous writers on here, and they have the same fucking review 3 times posted on. I'm like, what the fuck is that? How do they even get away with that? Bitches.
Well, no, my favorite stuff is the people who like to go, how did they get a good review?
I know.
don't understand how they got a good
So
review.
while you guys are all scrolling, should I start reading one?
Yeah,
Oh,
do
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Go,
yeah,
go,
yeah,
go,
go
go,
ahead.
go.
But you gotta do
All
it
right, you
again.
got this is J. Horton's reenactments.
Well, they're not all.
All right, let's be quiet. Chuck, go.
Okay. Just why? Making a movie is not easy. It should be noted that the process of making a feature film is not as easy as it sounds, let alone making a good film. I always try to take it easy with this what seems like first-time productions because the people make these type of movies still have a lot to learn. However, this movie, I don't even know what to say. It's bad. It's very bad on various levels to the point that is ironically enjoyable as a so bad it's good movie.
Is that for real shit?
I did not. By the way, I did not realize this was a 3 fucking page
I know,
long
it's okay. That's
review.
okay. Some of them are long. They're long.
I mean, it's just. I mean, I'm still scrolling, so I'm going to cut it off there
Okay.
for
Okay.
now. 'cause that's
We're just going to
yeah,
take
all right.
this on and
That's
on
one.
and
But
on.
but it's so bad it's good, which isn't true. It's
That
not
makes
so
no
bad it's
sense.
good.
And then, like, why did you spend, like, 2 hours of your life typing all
they don't
that?
fuck
Hey,
around.
hey, you know what though? All I got to say is thanks for the $5.
Right.
Thank you. And thank you for the, like, however long it took you to write that. Thanks for all that time. And
Okay, I got one if you're ready.
Okay,
Oh, I'm ready.
Review. Re-enactments.
In genuine honesty, this movie has really made me the most uncomfortable I've ever been. The acting sincerely unsettling and unprofessional. The plot, the same plot the stereotypical depicts a supposedly heroic identity. And you had a penny in your left hand and a chance to forge a gold nugget in your right. You chose the penny. As a director, I mean, movies supposed to look and feel, for example. I'm not sure if you took into consideration the audio quality, or the static, or the generic shots of the poor cinematography. All of these things did poorly in captivating and keeping my attention at their hands. Once you catch an idea, you should at all costs work to make that idea. No one has ever seen. I can't even read it anymore. It's just like, holy fuck. Well, thanks there, whatever her name is. Anyway, that's my reenactment for
Yay.
making
What's
her uncomfortable.
Do you have one, Jay?
Yeah, okay.
You
I
ready
got
with
one.
yours?
Okay, good.
Okay,
Here we
let's hear it.
Review. Reenactments.
Uh-oh. What happened? Where are
He's
you?
still there.
Oh, nothing.
He's
I
looking
was,
at the screen.
Oh, okay.
wow, I did. My camera did go out, didn't it?
Yeah.
It did.
That's okay. You got your pimp ass picture up there, though.
Yeah, it's good.
How come I don't have his
Oh,
pimp ass
oh,
picture?
that's fine. This is audio anyway, right?
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
good. You're
you're
good.
good.
Well,
It's all good.
yeah, we got enough video of you.
Okay,
You're good.
cool.
Go
No
for it.
worries.
So, I usually read bad reviews and end up judging the critics. They're too pessimistic, too judgmental. Probably someone who can't deal with their own self-loathing. And then given the amount of 5-star ratings for this movie on Amazon, one would be warranted to think that of a bad reviewer here. Nevertheless, this was a hard watch. It was like having a dream where a bunch of horrible things are happening to you, but none of it has any semblance of coherence or narrative structure. The actress was good, but her ability contrasted with every other technical aspect of the film explicitly because it was bad, and made all the more goofy without intending to be. Actually, that's pretty good. Nailed it. They kind of nailed it.
Oh my god, dude, awesome, dude.
Okay, so I have.
Okay,
I actually have two that I cannot pick
Just
from between.
just read one.
So I'm
Piece
just.
them
I
together.
can't do it. I can't. So I'm just gonna do. I'm gonna do one's really short,
Okay.
and then the other one starts really short and gets long. But I'm just gonna read the beginning of it.
All
Okay,
right.
because I cannot pick between.
bad
the two.
review.
Okay, both of them. Both of these reviews gave 1 out of 10 stars. Okay, and the first one goes horrible and unwatchable piece of junk. The worst movie of the year. Stay away. Life is too short for such garbage.
What was her name? Karen.
Actually, the name was Windsor Inquirer.
Ooh, you just call them out too. I love it.
Windsor Inquirer.
Yeah.
So Inquirer in the name kind of makes you wonder.
Yeah.
You know, National Enquirer. Like,
Do they
how-
want to know?
Okay.
Inquiring minds.
Anyway,
Fuckers.
the other one is the award goes to The Outrider for the most fake reviews. All current 7 reviews are fake. They
Yep.
know this for
They
a
know.
fact.
Yeah, they're fake. Yeah.
So anyway, it goes on and on, but that's my favorite part.
Motherfuckers.
I couldn't
They
pick.
did their research.
Yeah. They
Oh,
know.
yeah,
Oh,
they did. And they actually know that our reviews were fake. I mean, they really know that.
I had a guy once trying to tell me on my YouTube channel, like you don't know what you're talking about. I know you don't. You know what you're talking about. I'm like, what do you mean? And he's like, I have audited all of your social media accounts,
What
and
the
I am
fuck?
telling you whatever that means. And I know you only have like this many followers and this many this and this many that, and your retention rate,
Oh,
your
for
engagement
fuck's
rate is only 75%. I'm like, how did you figure out 1% of my engagement rate?
There's a certain level.
Hey, and you want a job, man?
There's
It
a
was,
certain.
he was trying to get me to give him a free consultation on his movie.
Oh my
for
god!
fuck's sakes,
There's a
God.
certain level of you have to wonder, like how, like where really is your mind when you're focused so much on me
Yeah.
that you are
Yeah.
doing the utmost research and all day long is me. Like what is wrong with you? Like why are you so worried about me?
People just can't enjoy, like, the one thing in life that doesn't really hurt people is art. Is their creative process about things you put out there in the world. People don't put shit out there to make people feel bad normally.
No.
They want to either educate them, they want to entertain them, something. And it's weird how it gets so attacked. Like, of all the things in the world to attack, why the fuck would you want to attack
It's because
someone?
they have no creativity and they can't do it themselves, and it's
Yeah.
all about jealousy, and that's kind of what.
That's
I think
one way
is
to look
driven.
at it.
It's-
Well,
And
it
also,
drives
it's like
people-
for some of being the dick nerd that I am,
Sure.
Some of some of these things about some of these like same matching anonymous writers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
they're grammatically almost the same.
That's what I mean.
Right, and
so
if you
are
look,
they just bots that are
if you-
somebody's
Copy paste, copy
if
paste
you
thing.
hit on them and you look at them, they actually have like they've really given like pretty much everybody the same review.
Yeah.
Right. The other thing too is the timing. The within the hour of us releasing, or was it right as we released The Outrider? Somebody gave us a negative review.
Oh, right off the
like
bat,
faster than anybody could have even watched the opening
they
credits.
couldn't even.
We put the DVD up for sale.
Wow.
We put the DVD of The Outrider up for sale, like on Amazon.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's
and
right.
as soon as I hit upload, we had one review already, 1 star, horrible movie. And I was like, Jesus, jeez, what kind of Amazon's delivery systems? No, Joe. Like, how the fuck did they get that so fast?
No, they weren't. They weren't a verified purchaser though.
No.
Right.
So obviously, someone just jumped in. I mean, they literally were on it.
That's how boring
They
people
jumped
are.
in there right as we went up. They jumped in there and said that.
Or it was one of our family members that came to our actual showings, and they just didn't, they really wanted to tell
It
us
was
what they
nobody
really thought.
who was at our
anonymously.
showings. I'm
Could have
telling
been
you.
anything.
For
Well-
the longest time on Amazon, I would go on because I'm trying to increase engagement.
Mm-hmm.
So even with bad ones, I would reply and I would be like, "Oh well, I'm sorry you didn't like the movie."
Yeah.
But and I'd be very like kind of passive aggressively dickish, but I'd be very
I love it.
polite,
Not when
And
you do it though.
Because somebody was telling me that it would help you with your customer engagement ranking to have more interaction, even if it's negative.
Right,
so
right.
I would go in there and start replying to reviews. I don't do it anymore, but I used to. I've since, at least as far as Amazon goes, I don't think they weight very heavily into the CER thing
into the
anymore.
engagement, like where your pricing is going to be, basically saying.
Yeah,
So,
I don't think so.
yeah.
I think it maybe did at one point, but I
Yeah.
don't think it does anymore. I think people focus a little too much on it.
Yeah.
and I don't think it's a major factor anymore.
Right. Well, I think we did all right. We got a lot of information, I think. Did we? Did we do okay? Is there anything else we need to ask? Jay, I mean, I could talk to him all day. I got so many questions.
I was gonna say I
for
could
him.
talk. I could pick Jay's brain for.
I really do. I know we've. God,
We
man.
enjoy your content a
Yeah,
lot.
brother.
We
But
watch
he turned
it a
off his
lot.
camera because he's like,
I know. He's like, well, I don't want you to see my
Yeah, I
eyes
don't know what
rolling.
the hell happened to my camera.
I'm bored.
Stop or check your audio or video down on the bottom left.
what I want to know is how come you guys all have a nice picture of
Something
from
I
this
do.
IMDb page, and I've got nothing on my screen.
I
I'm
got
the
a
host.
picture. Yeah, I see.
I did. I clicked the.
Oh, there he is.
Stop video.
Oh, you figured it out.
That's what happened.
He's
That's
coming back.
awesome. Okay, come back to us.
How I did that.
So, Jay, where can people find your work, my friend? What platforms you got your films on? Where can you point some people?
Well, so I almost everything is on Amazon. You can find it on Amazon Prime. I have a lot of movies on Tubi TV. I would really prefer people to go find stuff on Tubi. It pays
Correct.
a little bit better.
Yes,
Okay,
absolutely.
Good to know. Good to know.
Been using Tubi
You
all
can
weekend.
find me.
Yeah.
We'll
You can
watch it
find
on
my
Tubi.
YouTube thing. I'm the j.horton or j.horton on YouTube. I'm at DJ Horton on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever else.
Okay.
You got a TikTok, bro.
Yeah, but
TikTok.
I'm just,
I like TikTok.
It's hard
I don't
to
have
do
it figured out yet.
Me neither.
Oh well,
It's hard.
our daughter
But I-
needs to help all of us.
Yeah. What's the other one that you were doing? That was the one that I needed to do that I kept looking at, and I heard Jay
That
talk
Jay
about
was
it.
doing.
Oh,
Yeah.
Pinterest.
Thank you. I can't
Pinterest.
figure that shit
So,
out
yeah,
either.
I'll say my little thing about Pinterest real quick. 'cause
Please do.
I did a video and I was very, very like, oh, you got to get on Pinterest right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I still say it's a good platform and it can still work. But my results, my initial results, I fully believe it was a fluke.
Okay.
I mean, I started doing it, and in my first 3 months, I had 400,000 video views.
That's
like
fucking
a
crazy.
Wow.
amount.
Yeah.
like monthly. And
Wow.
I was getting crazy
Crazy.
click through rate, but
Mm-hmm.
now I've been on there now for about 7 months, and the last 4 months, it's more like 5,000 views.
Okay. Okay.
That's still a lot
it's
of
still-
people.
Yeah,
looking at
it's
you.
still a thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's just it might not be quite the thing I made it out to be in the video.
That's okay. But yeah, you were excited.
Well, it's
Shit.
interesting,
I
too,
know.
'cause
I would be too. I'd be like, holy shit.
Kelvin
Yeah,
said the
it's
same
just-
thing.
You really got to keep in mind with Pinterest, it's very visual, like Instagram. It's like your thumbnail means a ton.
Oh yeah.
So if I just put my face up there, we'll do pretty good.
Okay, we don't do your face. Don't put your face up there.
I had a filmmaker tell me off after that video. He's like, I tried this and it didn't work for me. And I go and I click on his Pinterest page, and and I say right in the video, use good thumbnails, SEO, blah blah blah.
Didn't
Notice
follow
no
direction.
description. No description. The thumbnails are just stills from the movie, and the movie looked like shit.
And you're sitting there like, that's my fault, dude. I tried to tell you.
I know, but that's the double-edged sword with doing things like that. It's like no matter no matter how even-handed I am or how humble or like, well, this might work for you, it might not.
Yeah.
You're still going to get people that are like, you're full of shit. I tried it. It didn't work.
Well,
Yeah,
nothing works for everybody.
They fucking don't
Exactly.
get it, though.
But in general, your
Exactly.
advice is great.
Yeah.
And we
thank
love your stuff. And you were going to say something about Kelvin.
Yeah. What was the other thing that Kelvin was saying? Was it? What's the one that the gamers are using right now that he said we should jump on
Twitch.
and put
Twitch
a video
and
on
do a
of our
live thing for the
podcast.
podcast. Twitch.
Yeah. Twitch.
That's another one. I mean, there's so many things you can do.
Oh, that must be in your bro feed because I'm not in that one. so-
Actually, it was from months and months ago.
Yeah, we're
Well,
gonna,
anyway, it was in your bro one. 'cause
dude,
I
we're
was-
gonna get one with Jay. You're gonna be out, Sam.
Yeah.
Oh, you're going to kick me out?
Yeah, because
and
we have
Jay?
heavenly penises over here, and then the heavenly vaginas can go in that. And
Actually, devilish vaginas.
Wait, I don't want to be in that
what?
group. You don't want to be in that group. Don't say that. We're trying to make it nice.
Guys,
Oh, we are? I'm just going off of what I've seen from Jay.
I guess, Jay, you're coming in and I'm going out.
Jay's a
That's
man.
not true.
We're kidding.
They don't
No.
like vagina anymore.
That's not true either.
Mr. Horton, it was a pleasure, my man.
Such a pleasure.
Thank you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Thank you
awesome.
for everything that you do, and keep spitting the knowledge, man. Because I know I'm listening, and I
listening.
pay attention, and I need that stuff too. If I don't know it, I learn it from people like you. So thank you.
Yeah. Better me than on the street, right?
No shit, man.
Well, yeah, damn
shit.
right. I don't even want to know what's out there.
And if you ever need a couch in the future, hit us up.
Yeah.
No, but we believe in collaborating. So if there's ever any help that you need, Jay, reach out to us because we're here.
Yeah, brother.
We got
Oh,
you.
absolutely.
And if there's any new stuff that comes up for you that you're doing and you want to spit it or you want us to announce it for you or help you promote it, we're here for that too.
Yeah, man.
Oh, wow. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, our-
Absolutely.
Same.
Absolutely.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate that.
Thank you
Yeah.
very
The
much.
show's doing pretty good. This was our hustle for the year since we couldn't go make movies, and we're surprised by how well it's doing. So we're just keep plugging away. Keep plugging away out.
Yeah, but
Yep.
making some awesome people.
It's the best part.
Yeah, just friends. Making some great friends and
Yeah.
family.
Absolutely. It's great, buddy. Thank you again.
So
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, man. Chuck,
Keep
you want
in
to close
touch.
out the show, man?
Sure.
All right.
Well, I'd like to thank Jay for joining us today for a cup of coffee and a conversation, even though my coffee ended up being really weird and disgusting at the end, and I'm still sorry for everybody who had to watch that.
Oh, they'll see it soon.
Oh my gosh. But no, Jay, thank you for everything that you're doing. You are inspiring and you are, I don't want to say you're educational because that sounds weird, but you are very informative and you're helpful. You're teaching people.
Yeah.
You're teaching, we lean on each other to collaborate and figure things out. We lean on others like you to do so as well. But the nice thing is the younger people that we're all helping and everything that we're doing.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you for sharing. your
yes,
info.
absolutely. So thank you again, my brother, for joining us today. And remember, everybody, think hard because you're thinking anyway.
See you soon, guys.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning
Wait,
in.
remember, everybody, think hard because you're thinking anyway.
Oh, for the love of Christ, both of you guys.
You just cut me off, though. Just cut me off. man.
Nobody,
Yeah, because-
nobody needs to hear the old intro.
Okay,
Or
well, I'm
outro.
going to cut you both off and say thank you for listening to our show. Thank you for tuning into Around the Reel.
That's great stuff. So why did they even tune in the first place?
I don't know, but they're glad they did.
Yeah. I think it's because we're trying to inspire people
We are.
and have fun with people.
People that are artists.
Creatives.
Yeah. People that are out there trying to make a living with their art.
That's a beautiful thing.
That's what we're doing.
They're crafty.
Yes.
So have them tune in. And how do they get on our show, Chuck?
You can get on our show by going to our website. Please visit us at cccentertainmentgroup.com. Click on the scheduling
Link.
link.
I'll send you to me.
Yeah.
Sassy Sam was going to get you all lined up on everything
I'll hook you up with a day and a time.
sometime in 2021 or 2022 because it's filling up fast. So if you want to get on this show,
Get on
I
it.
highly suggest
Get on it.
you start clicking your brains out.
Come be our guest on our show. We'd love to hear your story.
We'd love to hear it.
Make sure you come visit us on Amazon Prime and OP Prime.
Oh,
And
yeah. Watch
The
our
Outrider.
movie. Watch our movie. The Outrider.
Yeah, you can watch Marcus
It's good.
Ford kick some fucking ass.
Oh,
This was a perfectly good take until you said
until
that.
you said that.
All right. Well, thanks for tuning in to the show. Bye-bye, guys.